We're going to be solving systems today by graphing. When you solve a system, you're looking for the intersection. So when they say solve, they're asking for the intersection. Where do they cross? Okay, so we can graph these by hand or using the calculator. I'm going to do the calculator first, and then I'm going to show you by graphing, because I can do it faster graphing by hand than graphing using the calculator. We would put both of these in the calculator. I can put one in Y1, trace, graph it, and then the other one, put it in Y1, trace, graph it, and see where they cross, or I can put both of them in Y equals. So I'm going to do it one at a time. 3x minus 4 in Y equals. And we're looking for the pretty points. So first, I'm going to plot 0, negative 4 right there. Then we're going to go to the right side. So 1 enter doesn't, 1 enter works. So we're going to put 1, negative 1. And then you're going to hit 2 enter. That's going to give you the next one, which is 2, 2. And then 3 enter is 5. So make sure you plot those. If I want to do that by hand, this is how I would do it. I would say, okay, I'm starting at negative 4. So you put your first point goes at negative 4. Then the slope says 3 over 1. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1, which was the point that you should have graphed earlier. That's 1, negative 1. And then you go up 3 again, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Put your next point. That was the other point that we saw. That was 2, 2. And then you go up 3 again, 1, 2, 3 over 1. And that's that last point that we saw on the calculator, which is 3, 5. Connect your points. And then we draw the other line. So that's negative 3x plus 2. Negative 3x plus 2, trace. So the first point I'm going to put is 0, 2. Go ahead and plot that point, 0, 2. If I go to the right, my next number would be 1 enter. That's 1, negative 1. You would plot that on your graph. And then 2 enter. That's 2, negative 4. Plot that point on your graph. If I go backwards to the negative numbers, negative 1 enter gives me 5, so I would also plot that one on the graph. Okay, and if I do it by hand, you're going to get the same numbers, the same dots. So again, we start at positive 2. That was the first point we saw on the calculator. And we went down 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Because it's negative 3 over 1. So we're going down 3 to the right 1. Down 3 to the right 1. So my first point was 0, 2. My second point was 1, negative 1. My third point was 2, negative 4. And if I go backwards, it's over 1 to the left, up 1, 2, 3. That was that last point we saw, which is negative 1, 5. Connect the dots. And I want you to circle where they crossed. So they crossed right here at 1, negative 1, and that is your solution, 1, negative 1. Okay, so I want the graph, and I want the solution for all of them. Problem number 3. And I don't care if you use a calculator or not. Problem number 3. If you put those two in the calculator at the same time. Okay, because remember we can put it in one at a time or we can put both of them in at the same time. Y equals 5/4 x minus 2 and 5/4 x minus 1. What do you notice before we press graph. What do you notice about this? They both have 5 over 4. And what is 5 over 4? Is this the slope or the y-intercept? It's the slope. So both of these are going to have the same slope. So when you hit trace, they should both have the same slope. They're both going the same way. Are they ever going to intersect? No, they're never going to intersect. So that means that they're going to have no solution. So let's graph them. The first one is 0, negative 2. Graph that point. And then 1, enter. That's not a good point because it gave me a decimal, so I don't want to use that one. 2, enter. Same thing. 3, enter. Same thing. 4, enter. That's a good one. 4, 3. So plot those 2 points on your paper. So the first one was negative 2. We started at negative 2, and we went up 5 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4, 3. That's the point that we just saw. Connect the dots. In order to move to the next line, just press the up arrow, and it takes you to the other line. Press 0, enter, and that's where you start with that line. So you're starting at 0, negative 1 for that one. And then we're going to look for the other point. 1, enter, doesn't work. 2, enter, doesn't work. 3, enter, doesn't work. 4, enter, works. 4, 4. So we have 0, negative 1, and we have 4, 4 to plot. Because we start at negative 1, and we go up 5 over 4, same slope, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1, 2, 3, 4, which is that point that I just told you, 4, 4. Connect the points. These are parallel lines. Parallel lines never touch. They never intersect. So this would have no solution. So again, I don't care how you graph it. If you don't know how to graph it by hand, put it in the calculator and go look for those points. I need to know where they cross. So I need to see the intersection on the graph, and I need to see the intersection written down next to the equations.